Well, I've been working with Ryan for a long time. He's a realtor, and he has used us on a number of different projects. Some have been for clients of his, some have been for investment properties of his. In this case, this was his own personal home out in Kaneohe. As in most projects, it's typically us coming out to try and get some of the things that they wanted to the kitchen and or features. Some of the things in this kitchen that were that they wanted an island in the center. This is one of the first kitchens that we did that actually featured a waterfall for the countertop. Well, all projects are different, so typically what tends to happen is we come into a home and do some measurements because we need the physical, what is it exactly that you can and cannot do, because the space is typically defined by the natural openings of the kitchen. So in this example, it would be a return wall with a hallway, an exterior wall with windows. So we're typically not going to, we're going to try to at least work with what the customers have. I think with every type of project, anything's possible, it just takes money. So a lot of times what we want to try and do is try and play the hand that we're dealt with first. So in this case, coming into the house and measuring and then seeing what physically can happen with the kitchen. And then the next step would be for us to, after the shape is defined, for us now to say, okay, now what kind of products do you want to put in? What do you want the kitchen to look like? And sometimes this process is done, over, looking at websites or taking a look at pictures of things. There are a couple of different places that I usually will send people to. One would be a site called Congolium Room Vision, where it is a area in the Congolium website where you can actually go ahead and change actual colors of countertops and cabinets. And it's a flooring website, but typically they're trying to sell you a floor. So in this case, they want you to input exactly what materials you have. In a number of cases, I'll send people there to take a look and play with it because they don't really know what colors look well together or what kind of scheme they're looking for. So now they have the ability to actually go ahead and do that at the website. It's a very realistic program. Now, since that time, we actually have a computer program called 2020 that does exactly the same thing. And in that website, we can actually go ahead and change colors and put different flooring and countertop, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, now with our computer program, we can actually use virtual reality. So a lot of this Oculus headsets and stuff, we actually have a component of that now built into this program where you're physically in that space looking around it, which is kind of cool. It's a huge peace of mind because, like you said, it is a huge investment. It's a huge dollar investment. And I think surprises are good in some occasions, but in this type of setting where we're spending money to, get a desired look, I think a surprise might not be such a welcome thing. I think one of these things which is nice is, being able to see exactly what you get before you buy it. So one of the things that was kind of interesting is in browsing through the website, they got a chance to see a kitchen that was done by a company called Canyon Creek. And in fact, they saw the material. They actually took it one step further. They actually flew up to Seattle to actually take a look at the material in a kitchen display that was at the parent company, Canyon Creek, and then came back and said, hey, that's exactly what I was looking for. So in this case, visiting showrooms I think is important because at the Canyon Creek showroom, they were able to actually see, different materials actually installed, so you touch and feel and see exactly what it looks like, and then say, yeah, this is what we want, to happen in our space. Yeah, so the cabinets were a high gloss veneer. So again, this is not something that we do every day, and it's not something I think that is for everybody, but in this case, this is something that they wanted. So they were able to go ahead and, pick out a color scheme that I thought, looked nice in their space. It was a more of a natural brown. They were actually contrasted that with the whitest, and trust me, the customers went through great lengths to try and find the whitest quartz manufacturer that they could, and in this case, they actually used Caesarstone as the countertop. And so appliances were done by a company called Thermador, and Thermador is a higher brand of appliance. It's something that we actually will, and it's not that it's cost prohibitive, but I mean it has very for them, they wanted to have professional applications toward whatever they're doing, so they ended up using a built-in 42-inch refrigerator. They were able to use a pro range, so again, they have they wanted gas, so they wanted to make sure that whatever they're cooking, it met the types of cooking that they were going to actually do. Yeah, they did their own flooring. They did marble for the floor, which is again going with something a little more upscale, something that was going to be complementary to some of the ideas that they were actually going with. I think the fact that they ended up using a countertop that was very neutral gave them the ability then to actually do other materials that were going to be more bold. And in this case, I think that the floor actually, some of the contrast in the floor actually helped pick up some of the cabinet. And again, it always, I tell people, always helps to get somebody to come in there professionally to, help you out the space. I mean, if it's free, I mean, why not use it? Because to me, it makes so much more sense. And instead of having to go it by yourself, to actually get somebody to help collaborate with you or to actually help feed you, ideas, I think is super important. Yeah, I think for this kitchen anyway, it really helped out that the homeowners had a clear vision of what they wanted out of the kitchen. So that actually helps out quite a bit when you're actually seeing a designer. So the designer can actually help keep you out of trouble, and then anchor you to the real world, and at the same time can actually source products, and then that way the homeowner can be happy at the end. In this case, they were super happy at the end, that they were able to get everything into their kitchen that they wanted.